Okay, these are these .c files. We can store the contents of all these C files in a file like cat star.c and redirect it to another file. Let us say program dot, okay, we can say C programs .txt, enter. So all the contents of C files are stored in C programs.txt. So you can say cat C programs.txt, then it will display the contents of all the C files which are stored. Okay, so that is how all the C program files you can store in a single file. All the C programs you can store in a single file. Okay, let us look at the standard error, which is again by default connected to monitor, okay, display screen. Each standard file is represented by a number. So each standard files means standard output, standard input, standard output and standard error. All of them are represented by a file descriptor. File descriptor is nothing but a number given to all the open files which are present openly used in the Unix system. Okay, so which are the files which you have opened currently, for all of them a file descriptor will be given. Using that file descriptor is nothing but a integer like this. Okay, that file descriptor will be used for accessing that file. Okay, but first three file descriptors, that is 0, 1 and 0, so it is 1 and 2, not 2 and 3, sorry, we make that correction. 0, 1 and 2 will be used. Okay, 0, 1 and 2 will be used. This is 1, this is 2. Okay, so 0, 1 and 2 used for standard input, standard output and standard error, and after that 3, 4, 5 etc. will be used for other files which are later opened. Okay, so these three files will be opened and will be always available for the user whenever a user logs in. Okay, so these this 0, 1 and 2 are used for representing standard input, standard output and standard error. See how you can use them. You can use them like this. See, either this less than symbol or 0 less than you can use, both are same. Either greater than for redirection, either greater than or 1 greater than you can use, which is 1 is nothing but the file descriptor. Okay, 1 is nothing but the file descriptor which will be used for standard representing standard output. So that will be stored, that will be used. Either you can use greater than or 1 greater than, or you can use for standard error 2 greater than. Okay, so greater than symbol simply you cannot use. For error streams you have to use 2 greater than. That means it is representing the error stream. Okay, because standard output and standard error both are connected by default to the display terminal, right? Output of the command or error message of the command, both are displayed on the system itself, on the monitor itself, right? So how to represent, how to differentiate between the output and the error messages using this descriptor. 1 greater than or simply greater than represent the standard output, 2 greater than, that symbol will represent the standard error stream. Okay, let us see some examples. Cat f1, when you say if f1 doesn't exist, okay, let us say if f1 file is not existing, then it will, the cat command will give you the error message, cannot open the file f1 because it is not existing. So, but if you say cat f1 and this error message you want to redirect, okay, this error message if you want to redirect and you use redirection symbol, it will not be redirected to error file because this is by default this is representing the standard output, and by default it is connected to the display screen itself, so it will display here only. So it will not be redirected to a file called error file. Okay, so error messages are by default connected to monitor display screen. So in order to represent the error messages, you have to write 2 greater than, then error stream it will represent. Any error message will be available on the error stream, and error stream is accessed by 2 greater than symbol, and that error message you can redirect to error file like this. Okay, now in the error file this error message will be available. Okay, that is how you can use the standard error stream with the 2 and greater than symbol combination. Okay, so now if you say cat error file, then the error message, which is this one, which is stored here because of this command, will be displayed. Okay, so suppose if you say, see this double greater than also you can use along with the error to single greater than or double greater than. What is double greater than? Previously we have studied about 2 greater than, right? That means it is appending, right? It is appending. That means to the error file at the end it will append some contents, right? So then if you say cat f1 greater than, see it is combination here, greater than f2, that means contents of file f1 will be displayed, but it is not displayed on the screen, rather it is directed to file f2. And if any error messages in displaying this, that will be redirected to error file because of this. Output of cat f1 will be displayed or will be stored into or redirected to f2 file, but if there any error messages generated while displaying the contents of f1, that error message will be redirected to error file. See, while executing some program, if it is generating regular error messages which are not of our interest, then you can simply redirect all error messages to some file and it will continue executing the program, right? That is how you can use the error stream. Standard error stream is represented by a file descriptor 2 with greater than symbol, and error messages are available in the error stream. Error stream is represented by 2 and greater than symbol, and that will be stored in this error file. Okay, and you can take that content of error stream and store in some file. Okay, is that clear? That is about the standard input, standard output and standard error. Let us execute them and see. Okay, let me say cat f200, which f200 file is not available in my system. So what it will do, it will give you an error message, no such file or directory. But if you would like to redirect this error message to some file, like let me say error file, it will not be redirected, rather it will be displayed on the screen itself, because we are not redirecting the error message. We are not through the greater than symbol, we can only take the contents of standard output but not standard error. To go to standard error, you have to use 2 and greater than symbol. You have to leave a space there in order to give a separation. 2 greater than, then you can say error file. Okay, now the error is also redirected to error file. Okay, now you can check the contents of error file. Let us say cat error file. Then the error is stored in the error file. Okay, so now you can also append some content to error file. Let us say cat f500, which is also